Well, welcome back. This has taken me longer to set up than I thought it would, but it's set up and we'll see how far we get with this. Uh, I'm about to do something I do very poorly, and that is solder. What we're going to do is we're going to put lighting inside this building. And as I'll, and yeah, yeah, we're going to put lighting inside this building. I'm losing my train of thought. Anyway, I want to welcome you. My name is Dave, and this is McCarroll Siding, my N-scale layout. It is the Huron Central short line between Sudbury and Sault Ste. Marie. Used to service the Domtar plant, which is now closed, and they still use the switching or staging yard in McCarroll to do trains for the steel mill in Sault Ste. Marie. So anyway, we'll get right at it. Like I said, I'm going to put lights in this building today, and I don't do soldering very well. I'm not very good at it. So we'll see how much of a mess I make of this. But I've already done one, just as a test to make sure that I got power and everything's working properly, and we're good to go. So I'm going to switch over and show you where we're at. Oh, maybe let's go to 6 instead. There we go. There's my little soldering jig thing. So what we're going to do is in the building, and I can point it out without turning the building upside down. I'm going to put 2 of these little silicone flexible LEDs. One here on these 3, and one here on these 3 inside the building. Then what I'm going to do, and I don't know if I'm going to do it today with you guys or whether we're going to start here and make this a 2-parter, because this might get very long, and I apologize right now for it. Anyway, here we go. So the building, I'm going to flip it upside down. I don't want to damage the roof stuff I've got. Okay, let's see. Does this camera go out any further? Yes, it does. There we go. That's better. That you get to see more of it. So you can see that there's this long section. It's got an opening here, and rail cars can be pushed into the warehouse here. Then it's got the actual warehouse. So what we're going to do is we're going to put these little glowing noodles, one here and one here. Then, now where did I put that? Oh, it's over there. I'll leave it over there. Anyway, I've cut a piece of styrene to go from here to here to separate the 2 sections of the building. The reason for that is I don't want to have the yellow lights inside the warehouse. I've got white lights that I want to put in the warehouse itself. And also, on this end, you can see there are 4 doors, and one of them is open. What we're going to do is we're going to drill a hole here on the, I'm looking at it from, it would be the left side when the building's the right side up. So we're going to drill a hole and put a light here, drill a hole, put a light here, drill a hole, put a light here, and drill a hole and put a light here. All of those lights are going to be green. When I worked for Home Hardware, I used to do some deliveries to the Domtar mill. And their warehouse is basically set up like this, except it has 2 bays for getting freight cars or box cars into the building. But on the outside, it had lights at each of the bays. They indicate whether the bays were open or closed. In other words, if this was full of cars, the light out here would be red, meaning you can't put anything more in here. It's full. And if the light out here was green, then you could put stuff in. I think what we're going to do is we're going to put a red light out here on this one, because we're going to be, when we do operations, we're going to be running stuff in and out, and it makes more sense for it to be be red. I don't want to do a lot of switching, like changing the color from green to red, green to red, green to red. I have enough trouble doing operations without having to fool around with making sure all the lights are the right way. So we're going to put green lights all the way across here, and we're going to put a red light just above this, just by the edge of the door, or the entranceway into it. And I've got tiny LEDs, and I'm going to try and show you that. Anyway, that gives you an overall of where we're going. The piece of plastic that's going in here has been painted. It's sitting over there and drying. But I don't want to put it in right now because it'll be right in the way of me trying to get lights in this plane. So we'll turn it back over. Okay, there we go. And we're going to do the next noodle. Now, we're going to, I'm going to take this noodle off this little stand. Now this stand is called Omnfixo or something, or something like that. I'll put a link in the description below for you. Anyway, the last time when I bought a big round thing with huge hoses on it to to do soldering with, and I soon found out that all the wires in NCL are tiny. This whole contraption made it almost impossible to put anything together. And then Norm from Tested It was doing some soldering, and he had this, and I thought, geez, that's the cat's ass, that thing is. So I bought one, and it is the cat's ass. It really does work well, and we're going to go ahead here and try and make another noodle. Now we're only going to do two. I put one into the blocks over here, just to make sure I have power continuous. And here we go. Here's the next one. So the steps are to get this out of here without breaking it. And they break very easily. I should tell you that right now. If you put too much stress on these things, they'll snap right in half. And the first ones I bought were about half the length. Yeah, I would say half the length of that. And I was forever breaking them when I was putting them in, because there just wasn't my clumsy hands and the tiny little pieces. Things were going wrong all the time. So I'm going to take the noodle and stick it in here. I'm going to can I zoom in? How far can I zoom in? There's got to focus. Good. There we go. Now my head is going to be in the way at some point here. So there's the noodle in place. And you'll be asking the question, okay, you got a noodle here, and one end's got to be positive and the other end's got to be negative. Well, if I had a real micro camera, I could show you that on this end, here, I'm going to point to it here, there is a tiny hole, and I mean a tiny little hole. And that's the positive. The other end has no hole. It's flat. And that's the negative. So, here we go. And what I try and do is get it in so that that noodle contact is flat, so I can see it, instead of trying to solder on the edge, which is pain in the butt to begin with. Right? So that's that in place. Now for the other wire. So I have this very fine, let me see what gauge this is. Is that really 36 gauge? Yeah, it is. It's 36 gauge. And I'm just going to pull off a hunk. And I'm doing this because I will trim these once they go into the building. But I don't want to be short wire. I could tell you a story about the day that I had a building built in my backyard, not here in McCarroll, but in another place, and had the electrician come out, and I said, "Oh, well, I need a a box in the building for electricity and some plugs and some stuff." And he sent his apprentice to come. Well, the young man either didn't measure or just forgot that that was kind of important, and they had to dig a trench in the backyard, of course, to get the power to the yard, the building in the backyard. And when he came along to put it in, he found out that the wire he had just cut was too short, which his boss did not appreciate at all. And because of that, instead of, it's funny, instead of the box being at a particular height, it was a little bit lower than it would have been by code, I think. Anyway, that's just an aside. It's not important, but a fun little fact. So here we go. So I have liquid flux. It's called no clean flux, a halogen flux, and I'm going to coat the wires with the flux. You know what? I think I'm just going to do the two noodles today, and we'll do the lighting on the building in the front next time. I need to spread out these videos, and we don't really want to bore you with long. Now, here's another toy that I got from watching Adam Savage's Tested, and it is a tiny excuse me, USB soldering iron. Is that stuck? What I usually do is I don't trust myself very much on this kind of stuff, and I usually don't let it set up, and I just keep pulling the damn soldering joint apart. And that seems to be it going. Okay, good. And now this goes here, and clean the tip. Put it in here. And the other thing I've got to do is put shrink wrap on these, so they won't ever be close to each other, but I just don't want them to short out. So I've got shrink wrap here. I'm going to take my my wires here, and we're going to slide the shrink wrap on. There. And there. So we're going to just release that, hold it tight, and slide the shrink wrap on. Bring this forward a bit. Slide it on. This show's becoming an ad for Tested. So just recently on Tested, ATEM had this heat gun, and it's got a tiny little nozzle on the end of it, so that when you're applying the heat, it's going in just one place. It's not going all over the place and melting stuff it shouldn't melt. It's adjustable. I've got it set for, I think it's 180. No, 185. And now I'm just going to take this and put it near the shrink wrap. And shrink it down. Before I was doing this with a hairdryer. And then I switched over to my big heat gun. And that really didn't help at all. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to test this 1 and 2. And if you're wondering how I'm stripping the wires here, I'm using my teeth. Because all of the wire strippers I have are not fine enough for this wire. So, I'll open up. Sorry. That didn't work. Why didn't that work? Oh, because I put it in the wrong place. Okay, and now the red one. And we're just hooking these up to make sure that the two that we soldered are working. And they are. Bingo. That makes me quite happy. Okay, so the next step is to put these inside. Put that one and that one. I'm going to back out again, guys. There you go. We're going to put the two that are over here inside the building. Now, I'm trying to think of what glue to use here. I don't know if Silicn, well, I think I can, yeah, I'm going to do it that way. And that was talking out loud, by the way. And I've got, I'm going to turn the building around. I think you might be able to see this. All right, so now what we're going to do is I'll move my hand over here so you can see what I'm doing. And I think I've shown you these connectors before. I'll have to look up where I got. Oh, I know where I got them from. I got them from AliExpress. So, all right, and this is the other one here. I'm going to move stuff out of the way. And I'm going to think this through a little bit, but where did I put my super glue? Here's my super glue, and where did I put the piece of wood? I'm going to grab a couple of these really fine Q-tips, cotton swabs, whichever you prefer. do I have the accelerant here? Or is it sitting? It's sitting over there. So, what we're going to do is put some super glue in here. And I'm going to take the, I'm not going to glue the noodle, I'm going to glue the, I'm going to glue the shrink wrap. All right, I'm going to take this wire underneath there. And I'm going to pull the noodle and put the glue on the shrink wrap here, and then hit it with the accelerator. Come on, set up. That didn't stick as well as the last one did. Let's just give it a little bit more glue. Okay, that's number one. Okay, now number two. Now, super glue again. Come in here. Oh, and this is a little trick here. The wire goes under here. And this gets. Come on. Trying not to get it on my fingers, but get the damn thing into where it needs to be. There we go. And we'll wait till that changes color, as the accelerant causes the super glue to turn a sort of milky white. Did I just break this? No, I didn't. It just slid off the. That's good. All right. So now, wire under here. And push that. Stick. Well, this has gone easier than I thought. So, I'm not much of an electrician, but I do know that the reds go to the reds and the blacks go to the blacks. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the wires and I'm going to feed them inside the building and try and get them. There we go. Like, and they'll be inside. You know, I'll turn it up so you can see. Can you see that? Oops, sorry, that's not the. I'll flip that down. That's. But I'll just show you here. I'm gonna put the wires inside the larger section. And then we're going to use those little bus connectors to connect everything up. So here's the black here. And a black here. Now what's going to happen is, I'm actually going to take this apart now. And I'm just going to pull this and this. So what's going to happen is, oops, I just got super glue on my fingers. Silly thing to do. Anyway, these connectors are going to be glued to the roof, like that, depending on where the other wires go here. I would think probably facing the front or the loading area of the building, because that's where the majority of the wires are going to be. So that's going to go in there, and we'll just hook everything up here so we can see what this looks like with the lights in it. So red here, and snap that closed, and red here, and snap that closed. So that leaves us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 openings on that. I'm going to take this and hold it over there. Now we're going to take the blacks. Open these clips. If you do get these clips, be careful with them. They snap shut with quite a bit of force, and it actually is painful when they hit your finger. So I try and keep my fingers out of the way. And also when they snap closed for the first time, they don't snap. That wasn't a smart move. Yeah, we're okay here. Yeah, it definitely wasn't a smart move. Hold on. Oh, some days. That goes in there and we snap. Closed. No, that didn't work. Hold on. Like I said, I'm not much of an electrician. There. And where's the other end of that? Right down here. In and push it and then lock it down. And now the black underneath here. Wire in, snap it, and then push it down. And then the last one. And we're doing the black, so that goes in there. Snap, and then lock it down. Okay. So, now we'll take the feed wires. These feed wires are a much bigger gauge, and they're going to go down through the base, the foam and everything that makes up the layout's substructure. So you could see the light in there, and let's see what happens when we turn it upside down. And we'll go over to camera 7, preview 7, and whoops, hold on, sorry guys. previous 7. There we go. So I'm going to pick this up and turn it around. The wiring will be neater than this before this building goes on the lamp. I'll tell you that right now. But you can see the light in there. I'm going to turn off some of these here that are lighting the table. There you go. So now you can see the light in there, and it's lighting up the grills along here and a door that is here. And it is lighting up part of the building itself, but that'll change when I put the panel in, so that it's light blocked for just the long alley where the rail cars are going to go in. And it looks like I might have to light block the brick walls because the light is too powerful. I'm going to have to figure out what to do there. I'm going to have to figure that out. Anyway, so I think for today that's enough. I'm not sure how long we've gone, but I think we're probably at least at half an hour. So next week we will be putting the lights, drilling holes and putting the lights in the front of the building, and then lighting the bigger area of the mill itself. So you can see, I think you can see from there that there is lights coming through those windows there, and we're gonna block some of that off and figure out what we're doing. I think what I'm going to do, I know I have some black foam core somewhere. I'm going to build partitions that are inside so that just certain parts are lit up and other parts are not lit up. And I'm going to have to figure out what to do on this wall, because it is definitely, the light from those noodles is definitely stronger than the thickness of that plastic. So I may have to put another piece of plastic in here, or a piece of foam core in here to block that off. So I want to thank you for watching today. You've seen me once again experiment with something I've never done before. And I just want you to take care of your families, take care of yourself, and to remember that it's your railroad and you can build it any way you want. And there we go.